A much more interesting presidential election just went down, and you know what else went down? Another popular cryptocurrency network. Let me know what your guess is in the comments down below before we get into this. So welcome to Crypto Tips. My name is Heidi. We're going to talk about Bukele in El Salvador. He has been reelected as the president in El Salvador. For a lot of people, they were unsure if he would get reelected and continue to propel their support of Bitcoin as legal tender status in that country, and ultimately paving the way, I think, for a lot of other countries are also going to start adopting this option as legal tender as well, to kind of pivot away from the dollarization that can happen to struggling economies. El Salvador certainly pissed off the IMF when they made Bitcoin as legal tender, and there's always going to be conflicting stories as to, you know, the excitability of this news that there's actually Bitcoin as legal tender in a country versus what's actually happening on the ground. And you have to remember that adoption can certainly be slow moving, especially when it's not directly driven from the free open market of that country. So top down, you know, not enforcement, but opening the doors to Bitcoin as legal tender doesn't necessarily mean that everyone is going to be making that super accessible for those who do want to pay in Bitcoin. I read an article recently saying how it's going to take much more than just Bukele being reelected to continue to push Bitcoin to match the aspirations that all of us Bitcoin enthusiasts would love to see a lot of other countries adopt, but they do have some things going for them to encourage this continued adoption and integration of Bitcoin into the daily lives of those who live in El Salvador. You have a president who's now going to be around for another, 4 or 5 years, continuing to build the infrastructure to support Bitcoin within their growing economy. Also, we are approaching a bull market. No one seems to like to pay in crypto when the prices are down. What's most interesting, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be paying in crypto, you'd like to do so when it's most valuable, if you're thinking of it in terms of fiat currency. But as merchants, it's interesting. You should love to get paid during a bear market so that you can get more Bitcoin for your dollar compared to fiat currencies as well. So you can stack more sats in that way. I think that's a lesson that a lot of people are going to be learning. But as the Bitcoin bull market is revving up, as the future for Bitcoin in El Salvador becomes more and more solidified, you're going to see even more adoption and acceptance of Bitcoin as legal tender to be accepted as a form of payment by these merchants as well. Also, we have to talk about what's happening with Solana. I made a video about Solana about a month ago that went over as well as a lead balloon for the new enthusiasts of Solana. Basically, there's a new XRP army, but they go by the name of Solana now. And if you say anything negative about it, man, they're gonna tear you a new one, or they're gonna try in the comments. But don't worry, it will not faze me. I have been invested in this cryptocurrency space far too long to be influenced by silly trolls in the comments. But in this video a month ago, I was reminding everyone how Solana is becoming more and more popular. There was more Google searches for them. It was also coming out that their decentralized exchanges were having a lot more trading volume, even compared to Ethereum's Star, DEX, Uniswap. And I was warning that, even just 2 years ago, there were significant outages of the Solana network where not just like some wallet providers were having issues connecting, not just some validators were not able to connect to the network. The entire network went black. You could not initiate or complete a transaction on the Solana network, sometimes for days at a time. That is very significant and should never be swept under the rug. Well, it's happened again. Just this morning, Solana was down for another 5 hours. Morning my time here in Portugal. This time, they think it's due to the Berkeley package filter mechanism to deploy, upgrade, and execute programs on Solana seems to be responsible for the failure. And about 2 hours after the outage initially happened, the validators were already coming together together to roll out and upgrade to reinitiate the network as well. Now remember, this is a mainnet, but it is still in beta phase. Keep that in mind. You guys, we are holding Solana. If you're in the CT Club, you know exactly what percentage of our portfolio is being held in Solana. And that is a direct reflection of our willingness to have exposure to the risk of Solana. Sure, there's a whole bunch of potential for a price increase, but if you are choosing not to learn from the history of Solana, then you won't understand why Solana makes up the percentage in our portfolio that it actually does. As always, the purposes of these videos is to impart whatever knowledge I may have accrued during my own journey in cryptocurrencies. You guys can take it or leave it. Some people can't take it. Some people can't leave it either. They got to leave a comment, and that's fine. I fully appreciate your opinions. Please try to keep in check your emotions when it comes to investing in cryptocurrencies. You might have all of your hopes pinned on Solana to be the reason for your retirement in the years to come, and it might come true, but you have to have an even-keeled perspective on this, and you have to understand these network outages, the fact that they go down so quickly and they are rebooted so quickly, it screams centralization. I know many of the reasons why Solana was going down in 2022 was because of the direct manipulations happening from FTX. And again, I voiced it in the video a month ago, but today should serve as yet another reminder that yes, this is an experiment. Yes, Solana is still in beta phase, and you should be investing accordingly. You should take all of this information into account when you are investing so that you can be a better cryptocurrency investor. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye, guys.